was one of the first ones to mess the whole thing up. In fact, when you go into the thing of the Illuminati and the secret societies, really it was the Israelites that started those things up, man. Okay? So when the Lord had it to where after the period of 1,000 years, Esau came up into power, that was punishment because we didn't keep the Lord's statutes, commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. See, we knew it was the Israelites, but we didn't hold to it. We didn't hold no standard. We was just doing all kind of things, man. Okay? We was doing all kind of craziness, man. Amalgamating scriptures, mythology, there was all kind of stuff happening. You had a lot of infighting too, because when you check out the history of Scotland, okay, and the Irish and the British, you had dark-skinned people, the Israelites ruling out here within Europe, right? And there was a lot of infighting, just like how you got it to where you got gang-related violence. You had it to where when you had it on a higher level because you got gang-related violence right now because we've been pushed out there into the ghettos. But when we was ruling, you got it to where you got the Israelites ruling England, okay, Israelites ruling in Scotland. You was gonna have major wars playing out. That's what the whole thing of Braveheart was all about. But the point I'm making here now, to tie it back into the scriptures, the point I'm making is that, okay, during that time after the so-called Holy Roman Empire, during the time after the Roman Empire, you got the Holy Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, all right, where you didn't have so-called white people running anything within the world. They was out there pushed into obscurity, man. They was pushed out there into places like the Caucasus Mountain, Georgia, is that Russia and places like that, basically out of the way, okay, into the bottomless pit, because there was nothing coming out of those areas at that time. Now we're living in another time. Come to find out there's oil out there, but back in the Byzantine Empire, what need did you have for crude oil, man? Okay, so continuing, it says here, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more until the 1,000 years be fulfilled. So for that period, they weren't out there going out there to deceive people. They was nowhere. Now what you come to finding out is just like how Jake came up into prominence. They did the same thing. They played they played a thing called role reversal, right? So here it is. You got it to where you got Israelites ruling Spain, right? Dark-skinned people ruling Spain and Europe, all right? But you had it to where also too you had what was known as the I think it was the Ottoman Empire that was, running at the same time. Is it the Ottoman Empire? I forget the other empire. You had the Byzantine Empire, and there was another one that was happening at the same time. Okay, and they were contemporary with one another. But you also had a third one, which was Edomites, right? And they was going back and forth to see which one they was going to be a part of. Okay, but they was also infiltrating particular houses. And when I say infiltrating, I'm not talking about the regular kind of infiltrating. I'm talking about they was making particular pacts, marrying into particular families. And after the dispensation of time, they go up into a position of power, and ultimately they took over the world, man. Okay, just like how you got it right now. They're running the world, but they did it the same way how we did it during the time of the Byzantine Empire, man. Married into particular families. Okay, went up on levels as generals and officers within their army, and ultimately they came a point where it's just like, okay, it's a switch over of power. Okay, so this is what it's talking about here, right? So it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up for 1,000 years. Shut him up. They should deceive the nations no more until the 1,000 years be fulfilled. So they came back into power around about the 1600s, and they went out there and they went in heavy, man. To the end that when you speaking about the Bible, people are thinking about anyone other than the children of Israel. Okay, anyone other than the Israelites. Okay, and if you start mentioning the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and the children of Israel, everybody starts speaking about anyone else other than the children of Israel. Here it is, we're in the lowest, most messed up state. Okay, the most messed up position that anybody could be in. But whenever you mention salvation unto the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, people start talking about Moab, Ishmael, and let's not forget Edom. Okay? So continuing here, the 4th verse, it says here, and I saw the thrones, and they that sat upon them, and the judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai. And like I was saying, like I said, they got a profile of the people that are most likely not to bow down to the image of Baal, man. They got a profile of what kind of person you are via your so-called online history. Okay, they got an idea what kind of person you are based on what you get into, okay, online. All right, and one of the major things that comes up against the so-called image of the beast is this thing of Israel, man. This comes in direct contradiction to what? To the image of the beast. Okay, this comes into direct contradiction into what they're trying to push. Here it is, they're trying to push a non-biblical, okay, society, and you're speaking about you being the people of the scriptures. You're coming up against their order of things, man. Here it is, they're trying to push a hermaphrodite society, and you're talking about not only men and women being doing it and functioning in a different way. You're talking about it functioning in the way that the scripture speaks about, man. The man being the head of the household, which is already in opposition to how this world functions, man. So there was going to be witnesses of Yahweh Shai that was going to have to really die for the words that they're saying. Here it is, you're calling yourself an Israelites. There's going to come a day where the principles of being an Israelites, okay, not eating pork, having a beard on your face, okay, not worshiping your woman, okay, all of those things, they're going to come into what? They was going to come into question, and not only are they going to come into question, you was going to have to choose, okay, whether you was going to conform to the image of the beast or you was going to conform to the image of Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, which there's a particular image that you come with when you're an Israelite, man. There's a particular image that you got to conform to when you come and you call yourself a child, one of the children of the Most High, man. Okay, and what's going to be the hardest thing? That's going to play out before the Lord makes his appearing, man. Okay, so you're going to have high levels of faith, but the scripture says that what? Okay, here within all right, what does the scripture say here? It says here, so the souls of them that were beheaded, okay, for a witness of Yahweh Shai, for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai 1,000 years. So that's what the scripture says, man. All right, see, when you got it to where you don't worship the image of the beast, and you conform to the image of Yahweh Shai, then pretty much the Lord was going to have mercy on you, right? Now, you might say, oh, hey, brother, what about the men that died for this truth? Well, check out what the scripture says. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. And it did mention beheaded, just in case you get simple, you get faithless. Let's read what the Bible says. Okay, the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, and I'll start from the top. It says, furthermore, then we, from the top? No, let me start from, go straight to the point. So 1 Thessalonians 4, and this is the 12th verse, and says, that we may walk honestly towards them that are without, that ye may have lack of nothing, right? 13th verse. But I would not have you be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, which is the ones that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh. So, like I said, that's coming. The time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, all of these different things. All right, that's gonna mean, that's gonna mean a lot of people gonna get killed. And you, like I said, you're calling yourself an Israelite. There's gonna come a time when you're gonna have to make a choice, man. And the choice is gonna be either. It's going to be what? The mark of the beast, okay, the ways of the image of the beast, or you was going to conform to the image of Yahweh Shai. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 12, it says, but I would not have you ignorant concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. Continuing, it says, for if we believe that Yahweh Shai died and rose again, right, even so them also which sleep in Yahweh Shai will the Most High bring with him. So the ones that lose their life for the word and the witness of Yahweh Shai, the Lord said is appearing, just like how you had it within the times of Acts. He's appearing, they was going to be with him. Okay? So it says that for if we believe that Yahweh Shai died and rose again, even so, okay, them which are asleep in your house will he bring with him. 15th verse. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahushua shall not prevent them which are asleep. 16th verse. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, fathership, okay? Tells you about that within the book of 2nd Ezra. We get it now, in fact. Right. We get this one first. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and made no account of his labors. That's the times that we're living in right now. Right? You go to where the men of the Lord, the different men of the Lord that he set up, they're out there teaching the word of the Lord, getting into the word and so forth and so on, right? So it says there, then shall the righteous man stand up in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and made no account of his labors. And when they shall see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond what they had looked for. Because when you're looking at these, pretty much when you're especially when you're an Edomite, when you're looking at the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you ain't looking for the Lord to come and, first and foremost, they don't even really believe in the Most High like that, man. Okay, they believe in the Most High exists, but they're thinking, okay, that they're gonna be able to fight up against the Lord and prevail, which is not true. So the salvation of their so-called enemies, okay, which is the children of Israel, they ain't looking for that. Okay, their mindset is is in another place. Right, so continuing here, for they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had in derision. Next precept, the book of 2nd Ezra. The book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. 2nd Ezra 13:1, it says, and it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, a man waxed strong with the thousands of heavens, where he turned his countenance, all things trembled that were seen underneath him. So when the Lord makes his appearing, and when he was going to turn, whatever direction he was going to turn, pretty much even the men of the Lord was going to be terrified, man. Because you don't have a guaranteed ticket out of this thing, one. And two, okay, the sights that you're going to be seeing, it ain't going to be what's known as things, it ain't going to be like normal. All right, this is going to be like a terrifying event. Right, the appearing of the Lord ain't gonna be just a walk in the park, a normal day. This is gonna be like one of the greatest days. You go to where we keep the Passover. We're in the Passover right now, but pretty much, all right, we keep the Passover right now. But check it out. We go to where the Passover is kept on year to year, but check it out. The Lord's appearing. Okay, which is gonna be like the Passover again. All right, it's gonna be kept on year after year. The Bible tells you that the Lord was gonna give us a new day. All right, for the deliverance out of what? Out of the modern day Egypt, which is America. Okay. So continuing now, it says here. So they say ain't gonna be like no regular day, just like how the deliverance from Egypt wasn't no regular time, no regular day. The appearing of the Lord wasn't gonna be no regular time, no regular day. Okay. Continuing in here, it says, 3rd verse, it says, I beheld, and lo, a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, where he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen underneath him. And whensoever his voice went out, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when he feeleth the fire. So as when he is gonna make orders, gonna push out orders out there, they're gonna be accomplished, man. All right, so it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue that man that came out of the sea, which was the clouds. That's the Shemayim, right? It's not a chariot coming out of the sea. You go into the Hebrew, right? The word sea, okay, or one more, the word waters, the body of waters, okay, it could be the sea, it could be the sky, it could be, but it all has the same word. It's just the word Shemayim. It's a body of waters. And it translates into the English as heavens, the sea, or the sky. Okay, you know. So here we're dealing with a chariot coming from the skies here, which is a body of waters. All right, but it's not the sea. Okay, as in the ocean. 6th verse. And I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So this is the chariot that the Lord is going to come with, man. Right, this is going to be the what's known as the fathership, and this is what we was reading about within the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. How that when the Lord was going to come, he was going to appear with a shout, man, with the chariots and everything, man. Okay, it's going to be like a glorious day, man. Okay, so it says, and when he turned his countenance, look, all things trembled that was seen underneath him, and whensoever his voice went out, all they burnt. That I heard his voice, so I read that. Okay, sorry, 5th verse. And I behold, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude out of number from the 4 winds of the earth, right, to subdue that man that came out of the sea. And that reminds me of that's dealing with like what it says within the book of Revelations, the 12th chapter on the 12th verse, right, dealing with Esau coming up, and really the whole nations, okay, the whole entirety of the earth, they was gonna come up against the Lord. All right, and fight up against the chariots of the Lord. That's an actual event that's going to play out within the earth. They're actually going to try to fight against the Lord, man. Right? So it says that 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. But I would have seen the region, or the place where the hill was graven, but I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, they were gathered together to subdue. They that was gathered together to subdue, that man was afraid, but they saw those fight. So pretty much that's all I want on that. So back here within the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, and this is
Oh my God, these are yeah.
Okay, 1 Thessalonians 4 and 15. It says, for this we shall say unto 16 I was at. Okay, 1 Thessalonians 4 and 16, it says, for this you shall descend from heaven with a shout. No pictures, please.
Why not?
You can take pictures of the signs.
Okay.
You don't have to take personal pictures of me. You're more than welcome to take pictures of the signs. Okay. What do you guys think about Brexit? You know, the Brexit is in the Bible.
I don't think it is.
Well, I'm telling you that it is. The book of Daniel, you know about Britain was written about in the Bible? Do you know about that?
Britain's in the Bible?
Britain's in the Bible. America's in the Bible.
Yeah, but I don't think Brexit.
Well, if America's in the Bible, Britain's in the Bible, okay, that's all one empire. Would you agree America and Britain are all part of the same empire, run by the same people? Would you say when Rome was in power, okay, when Rome was in power and they was ruling Egypt, okay, and they was ruling Jerusalem, would you say that's all part of the same power structure? That was all Rome, right?
Right, yeah, I don't see how it parallels over to US and UK.
Well, how was the UK? I'll say this. How was the UK? How was America set up? Where did America come from? How was it just there forever, or was it a particular people that set it up?
Well, yeah, but it's not run by them anyway. There's no independence.
Okay, so the British started America, right?
Yeah.
So they're all part of the same empire. Then it's an extension of the same thing.
Yeah, but an empire is run by a central power.
Oh, is this not well run by a central power?
Not really.
No.
No, it's
So
run by
what's a central bank?
Huh?
So what's a central bank?
What central bank? Every country has one.
Yeah, that's good. So that's the central governing system that runs everything, isn't it not?
In the given, no. It runs the finances. It doesn't even run economic policy. It runs
Really?
monetary flow.
Really? You know what one of the actual elite banking families said? He said that I don't care who makes the policies as long as I'm the one printing money. Do you know what that means to say? That means to say the people that are actually running money are the central banks. Now I'm gonna ask you this, right? You know what's known as government spending, right?
Yeah.
Okay, a budget, right? So who's your so-called political leader of choice?
I don't have one.
Okay, so let's say it's Theresa May. Theresa May,
But it's not.
I said, let's say it is. That's the words that came out of my mouth, right? Let's say it is Theresa May, right? Now Theresa May is going to draw up a budget for the year, right?
No, Philip Hammond will.
For what?
Philip Hammond does the budget, not Theresa May.
Whoever. Someone's going to draw up a budget for the year, right? We're going to spend X amount on the NHS, whatever, whatever, whatever. Where did I get that money from?
Taxes.
Okay, beyond the taxes, where did the tax money come from? the people, the people print money? Did the money just come into existence?
No, of course.
Okay, so how did it come into existence?
How did it go into, well, initially it was a gold peg system. It was pegged
That's
based
not how
on-
money come into existence. You're close. You're getting warmer, but you're not quite there yet. Okay? The money that's in your pocket, it was borrowed into existence from the central bank. That is to say, for every pound, there's a pound plus the interest that you have to pay to the central banks. That goes back onto my point that I was making, where the elite bankers said they don't care who's running the government, because they really run it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say yet? Okay, that is to say, because Britain has to borrow from the Bank of England, which is a private entity, mind you. The Bank of England has nothing to do with England. The central bank. It's got a separate governing body. Okay? The governing body of the Bank of England, the elite banking families, they set what's gonna happen. Do you understand what I'm trying to say yet?
I think I understand. I wholly disagree with it.
Oh, okay. You're more than welcome to disagree, but I'm telling you what it is, not how you feel, you know?
For your day.
Okay. But pretty much when you check out how the world is run, it's run via banks and corporations, man. Okay, the bankers, they decide, look, this is what's gonna pop off, this is how things are gonna run. And you could have it to where you got whatever political leader you have out there. You could go out there into America, you check out the pharmaceutical industry, they pretty much govern the policies that happen, that get passed out there. That's why you might have a company, and they call it the most worst company that's ever existed within the world in Monsanto, okay? They got a company called Monsanto that's still in existence because they're backing all the lobbyists, man, okay? All the legislations that gets passed is to the benefit of the corporations because the corporations basically run it.